5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name is Rachel Hemric, and I just had a few things I wanted to say today. First, I want to tell you about how we got started with this farm. We got married in 45, and we moved in this house in 46. And we've been living here ever since. We had a daughter, one daughter, Vita Hemric, and she's 60 years old now. And we bought this. We lived here, well, his parents, till they died. Then 20 years ago, we bought this farm. And she and her husband bought half of it, and we bought the other half. And we worked together for 20 years till my husband died. We raised tobacco. We had 14 acres tobacco, and we had, at one time, we had 20,000 hens. So we gathered eggs and primed tobacco, and he had cattle, and he raised corn, and just did regular farming. And that was the way we made our living. So he died in 1985 after he found out that he had lung cancer. He found out, we bought the farm July the 27th in 85, and he found out that he had cancer in August, about the 28th, I think, and he died the first day of October. And since then, it's just been, Donnie took over to run the farm, and that's what he did. He just took over. But in about 1990, I believe it was, everything went along kind of smoothly, and but he wanted to build a chicken house of his own. We just had got down to one chicken house. We had been using it for, I guess maybe 8 or 10 years, just one house. And we split the profit between the two families. And we had just got down to this one house, and after he died, then Donnie decided he wanted to build him a house of his own. And he needed some money to build it with. He already had one up there, but he could get a contract for another house. And he wanted to borrow some money against the farm. Well, I just signed the paper. I didn't read it that morning. They were all in the lawyer's office waiting for me to get there. And he'd been living here for 40 years and eating at my table, and when he come here, he didn't bring anything with him but a car and $300. And we just took it. I just felt of him as my son since he was married to my daughter, and I tried my best to treat him that way. And as a matter of fact, I've always tried to treat everybody like I'd like to be treated. And so I went in and signed the paper for him to get a loan to build his chicken house. But I didn't read it, and when I did find out what was on it, it had been left open-ended so he could get anything up to $500,000. And there was no provision in there for me to ever get anything back for my half of the farm. So everything went along. I didn't know all this was in there, so it went on for it's been about 20 years now. And
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. This had gone on for about 20 years, and I was paying him half of my half of the chicken house to help pay the hired help. And so I got down, my contract was canceled about 2 years ago, and I have not had any income since then. But before that, he run this farm just like it was his own, and I have never seen a penny out of it in the 20 years that he has had it. And when my contract was canceled about 2 years ago, and when the last bunch of chickens, I told him that I was going to I just give him $100 a week for the last bunch of chickens that we had. And about the last 6 months, I kept it all, since I knew that was all I was going to have. So I didn't pay him anymore. So I went down, but before this, not too long before this, when he bought a tractor and paid $43,000 for it. And I decided that I would go down to see Grady Shore. He was the man at Carolina Farm Credit, where he got the loan, and see just what was going on there. I had never been down there since we took out the loan. And he, at that time, he owed about $458,000. And I told him I wish he wouldn't let him have anything else. I didn't know all this was in the loan at that time. I mean, I didn't know it was left open-ended. And but it went on anyway, and he was just like a bank. He could go there and get anything he wanted. And so then when, you're going to have to stop just a minute, honey. I need to backtrack just a little. When he was going to build this chicken house, I sold him, I let him have 4 acres of land, sold it to Danny Mathis, really, a fellow that was going in business with him, and they just priced it at $1,000 an acre then. So Danny paid me for, about a year later, Danny paid me $1,000. When I needed some money, I just called him one day and told him that I wish he'd pay me for a little bit on that land, and he just wrote me a check for $1,000. Well, the time has gone on, and that's all I ever got for the 4 acres of land. He sold out to Donnie for $10,000, and so Donnie never did pay me for 3 acres of land up there. Anyhow, everything went his way. Everything was all right as long as everything went just like he wanted it. But when he didn't like people coming here to help Vita do any work, he didn't. I don't know. It finally got so well, she needs to tell you this, I guess. But he had cut her off, and I had to pay her bills and pay mine too, and keep everything going. And so when all this lawsuit started, it's just been one thing after another. I had to hire a lawyer. That was $10,000, and it went on. I didn't think I'd ever need a lawyer, since I was just caught in the middle of a divorce thing. And but finally, I got some lawyers, but they didn't do anything for me either. Well, it went on and finally got down. I thought we were about to the end of it, and she had to have a lawyer, another lawyer. And so it's just been one thing after another all this time. And I can't tell you about all the times that we have had to been to the courthouse and to sign papers and everything, but it's just been one thing after another. And I can't tell you about the trips that she has made. All that she'll have to tell you herself, because I'm not skilled in surgery. I mean, in searching for lawyers and anything that goes on in that field. I'm just a farm wife. I've always lived on a farm, and I can get out here and do anything to do on a farm, but that's about my limit. So I'm, let's see what I got here. I think that's about all I've got right there. So, thought of ever leaving this place, but we borrowed money on this loan, and got a mortgage on this place, and the man that helped us get the mortgage, he took about close to $200,000 of it and left us with a mortgage to pay. And then, and now another fellow that stayed here a while, he come here and he opened him up a little computer business. And he was he didn't have anything when he come here, just the clothes on his back and a wheelchair. But he parked his wheelchair in a little while, and I'd take him to the grocery store. That's all he did was eat, sleep, and work on his business. And I'd take him to the grocery store anytime he wanted to go, take him to the doctor, take him anywhere he needed to go. But he left here and went to Raleigh. And he opened up his computer business. He just took it on to Raleigh with him. He just getting it off the ground here. So he moved down there and he rented him a place, and he had got into the barter business. And he had maid service, and he rented this house and got him a job at a car place doing computer work for them. And then I got a bill in the mail here just a month or so ago, about a month ago, from a company that I knew it existed because he'd had mail from it, but I'd never had any dealings with them. And that I owed them $1,077. So I just called them and told them that I needed that account stopped. I wanted it stopped right now. That this man was using my name to get credit. And then I got another one from a New Egg that he owed about $3,000 and something there in my name. So I said, if anybody else wants to join in, they'll just have to get in line. I don't have anything they can take, so they can. Everything here is mortgaged anyway, and we owe, and we've remortgaged, refinanced, and finally had to take a mortgage on my house to pay the loan mortgage bills. So that's where everything's sitting this day. And I don't know how it's all going to come out for the good. I hope. We're working on a loan. Oh, by the way, Donnie got 35 acres of land here that join between the two houses where they used to live and where my mother-in-law lived. And I took the house, and the land on below that is my part for my half the farm. And so he put that 35 acres up for sale, and I bid it off. And I paid him $21,700. And so then we were trying to get this loan to go through so I could pay the $200,000 for the land. Well, it's when all this other stuff started hitting my credit bureau, it knocked my score down about 80 points. So they had to stop right where it was. They were going to just go ahead and take it, but they decided to give me more time to get the money together to take it. So I could buy the land. And so that's where that stands. We're about to get enough to take care of it now. And so that's where that's standing today. We're just waiting for it to come through. They're just about to get everything ready. But he kept the $21,000, and that just cut us short on having money to pay the mortgages. So everything has been done to us about that can be done. None of our lawyers have been worth 2 cents, and one of them even paid half of his money back because I guess he felt like he hadn't done much. But then she got a bill for $1,300. So you name it, we've had it. And I don't know of anything everything has gone on, and if I could just think, but I've not been in the middle of it, you see, and all the talking that has gone on. So I'm just going to stop right here because I don't know, I can't add anything to this right now. Might think of something later on, but I can't think of anything else right now.